Hello, witches and wizards. Welcome to part 8 of Journey to Hogwarts, a Harry Potter inspired series where you are the real hero. If, like me, you embrace your main character syndrome by immersing yourself in a bit of harmless fantasy, then you're in for a treat. All right, where were we? Ah, yes. After a day of delightful surprises, exhilarating discoveries, and new friends, you find yourself shoulder to shoulder with your best friend, entering Cryptic Coven, Nocturne Alley's legendary hidden tavern. I have a feeling this is going to be a night to remember. Without further ado, let's dive back in. You step across the threshold of Cryptic Coven, and darkness takes you over like an invisibility cloak, large enough to cover the whole space. You are strangely calm, as if there are no thoughts left to think, no words left to speak, and nothing to see, nothing whatsoever. Then, just as quickly as they disappeared, your senses start to come back. The air is heavy with the scent of incense and magic, and the walls are adorned with strange symbols and sigils. You can feel the power of the place coursing through your veins, filling you with a sense of awe and wonder. Strange characters, ancient artifacts, and intoxicating aromas all make you feel the weight of the magic pressing down on you, threatening to overwhelm your senses. Shadows seem to dance at the edge of your vision, and strange whispers echo through the darkness. You can sense the magic, can't you? Your best friend whispers, their voice barely audible over the din of the tavern. You nod, your eyes wide with wonder. Suddenly, a deep voice belts from a dark corner in the tavern. Well, who do we have here? You turn to see an enormous old man wearing a dark cloak. He is short with a massive belly, so large that the buttons on his waistcoat look like they are about to burst off. "Professor Slughorn!" Ophelia exclaims, her voice tinged with happiness and surprise. "What are you doing here?" Professor Horace Slughorn emerges from the darkness with a cheeky smile on his lips and a twinkle in his eyes. "Ah, my talented mystical fools. I could ask you the same question, but it seems we're all here for the same reason, to seek out the mysteries of the Cryptic Coven and have a few pints, of course." He continues in a friendly tone. "And who are your new friends?" gesturing at you and your best friend. Lavinia introduces you to Professor Slughorn. He shakes your hand and says, "Aha, so we have some brave newcomers this year. I actually thought you were someone else, but no matter, my dears, I'm delighted to see you all here. Won't you join me at my table? I'm hosting a gathering of some of my most prized friends and protégés. With a gesture, Slughorn leads you to a secluded corner of the tavern, where a group of witches and wizards are engaged in animated conversation. "Here we are," Slughorn says, inviting you to take a seat. He proudly looks around the table and says, "Mine, all mine. Allow me to introduce you to some of Hogwarts' finest." As you settle in at the table, you find yourself surrounded by a diverse group of individuals, each with their own unique stories and talents. Among them is Luna Lovegood, a very cool witch with straggly, waist-length, dirty blonde hair and a dazed, dreamy look on her face. She sparkles with curiosity as she engages in lively conversation with others. "So, Luna," Slughorn says, with a jovial smile, "I hear you weren't quite good enough to make it into the Slug Club during your time at Hogwarts." Luna laughs softly, her expression unfazed. "Oh, that's quite all right, Professor. I've never been one for clubs anyway. But it's lovely to see you again." Slughorn chuckles, his eyes twinkling with amusement. "Nonsense, my dear girl. You may not have been a member of the Slug Club, but that was perhaps my mistake in not seeing your unique talents." He takes a sip of his drink. The conversation continues, flowing effortlessly from one topic to the next. Slughorn entertains the crowd with tales of his adventures at Hogwarts and encounters with dark magic, while turning more and more animated. Luna leans in and asks if your first day at the Wizarding World is everything you ever thought it'd be. "It's been amazing, better than I could have ever imagined." Luna's story is fascinating. After the Second Wizarding War, Luna became a magizoologist, discovering and classifying many magical species that had never been encountered before. And later, also a Hogwarts professor teaching field studies, a new course dedicated to studying and interacting with magical creatures in the wilderness. "So, you are one of our professors at Hogwarts?" you ask enthusiastically. "Oh, not this year, I'm afraid. But you'll see me around the Great Hall, and of course, I'm taking Hogwarts Express from platform 9 3/4 tomorrow, just like you guys. I love the pumpkin pasties from the trolley. Besides, I can always detect nargles on Hogwarts Express, but have never managed to actually get close enough to study one. Did you know? Most people believe them to be extinct. Fascinating, really." She rambles on in a strange yet charismatic way. As the night wears on, you find yourself drawn into the lively discussion, your mind buzzing with excitement and anticipation for the journey ahead. Eventually, your best friend approaches, a gentle smile on their face. "I hate to interrupt, but I think it's time we headed back. We've got a long day ahead of us tomorrow. We could use some flu powder, Ophelia suggests casually. You blink in confusion. Lou powder? What kind of powder is that? Ophelia and Lavinia burst into laughter. No, not Lou powder, Lavinia corrects, still chuckling. Flu powder. It's this silver, glittery powder that allows us to travel through fireplaces connected in the Flu network. Oh, okay. Right, you say, feeling your cheeks flush. The silly gaffe aside, you are very intrigued by the prospect of using flu powder for the first time. You say goodbye to Luna, Professor Slughorn, and the other witches and wizards, feeling a pang of reluctance at leaving behind the captivating conversation. As you follow Ophelia and Lavinia towards the fireplace, you can't help but marvel at the intricate details of the cryptic coven. Wow, this place is amazing, you remark, taking in the pulsating walls and the heavy scent of incense. Lavinia smiles widely, her eyes twinkling with amusement. One of my favorite places. There is old powerful magic here that only allows entry to the pure of heart. Not to mention, you always bump into old friends and some new ones too. Now, let me show you how to use flu powder like a pro. Step 1. Step into the fireplace. Your best friend chimes in, grinning mischievously. Step 2. Clearly state your destination, Lavinia adds, her tone laced with mock seriousness. And step 3. Drop the powder into the fire, Ophelia finishes, joining in the playful banter. With a nod of approval, Lavinia gestures towards the flames. That is correct. Now off you go. Leaky Cauldron awaits. You step into the fireplace, ready to experience flu powder for the first time. As the flames engulf you in a whirlwind of warmth and magic, you can't help but feel a surge of excitement coursing through your veins. For a brief moment, you feel weightless, as if suspended in mid-air. All shades of green swirl around you in a dizzying kaleidoscope, and the sensation of movement washes over you like a gentle wave. Then, just as suddenly as it began, the swirling vortex of flames recedes, and you find yourself falling out of another fireplace and standing in the familiar surroundings of the Leaky Cauldron. You take a moment to catch your breath, the adrenaline of the journey still coursing through your veins. Looking around, you see the warm glow of the tavern's lanterns and the comforting presence of your best friend nearby. It is all good. A little later, a sense of contentment washes over you as you settle into bed for the night, the events of the evening replaying in your mind like a vivid dream. As you close your eyes and drift off to sleep, your dreams continue, and you find yourself wandering the halls of Hogwarts, eager to embark on the magical adventures that await you in the days to come.